Welcome back, Andrew. We're back to science. No mascots in this episode.
We're back to conspiracy to kill people for drugs.
What are you looking at? What? Oh, I thought you tried.
What the whole.
Oh, you sound like you were reading. I'm like, I don't see those words anywhere, even in the background. I was like, how much stream delay is there? Asawa brought up a folder marked UA virus on the screen. Within the folder were enlarged images of the virus itself. He double-clicked one of the images. It blew up on the monitor to reveal the pathogen in intricate detail. Could it be Ice 9? A specimen of the UA virus was approximately 100 nanometers in diameter. 10,000 of them in line would take up barely a millimeter. But a single, tiny virion, upon entering the human body, could become 2,000 in an hour. The speed of multiplication was nothing short of astonishing. Even the Ebola virus had a typical incubation period of 7 days or so before infectees developed symptoms.
A virus of the family Filoviridae that causes Ebola hemorrhagic fever. Currently, 5 characterized species are known: Typhorus, Sudan, Reston, Zaire, and Bundibugyo. Ebola is widely known for its high mortality rate, 53% of the Sudan form and 88% for the Zaire. But the Reston variety, discovered in monkeys that had been brought into the U.S., had displayed no pathogenicity. Geneticity? Is that what it is? Pathogenicity. Okay. In humans.
For influenza, it was 1 or 2. But the onset of the UA virus happened in a mere 12 hours. Asawa viewed an image slideshow of the virus's propagation mechanism. It was a fascinating sight, no matter how many times he looked at it. Viruses existed to multiply, nothing more. They had no motives, no driving logic. Nothing but simple multiplication. To Asawa, the fact... What?
Is that accurate? I feel like viruses have purposes. I mean, like a virus usually goes to attack the body in some way. It doesn't just like try to spam the body with copies of itself. Like, I don't think that's the ultimate goal.
That actually totally is what viruses do.
But I thought the point is that they usually attack vital systems to gain...
Viruses have no goal to attack you. Viruses aren't even alive. That's the difference between viruses and bacteria. Bacteria are organisms and so on and have organs and things. A virus is the most simple micro thing ever that has no particular motivation or anything. All it really does is just infect cells and use those cells to multiply as fast as possible, and it spreads through the entire body. And
that's attacking.
Yeah. But they don't have a motive. They're not targeting things. They just
they're targeting cells to multiply. The point I'm saying is, like, you don't get Ebola. The thing he said
is literally what I said, and it's in what you're saying, which is that they just multiply. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying they do have a directive. Their directive is to find cells and use them to multiply.
Yeah, they can't multiply by just. They're not amoebas. Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Not even amoebas do that. Nothing does that. There's nothing that just multiplies. Everything needs to eat, or incubate or something.
That's what I was trying to say. Is like he makes it seem like viruses are just completely brainless, but it's like they are a programmed logic. Yes, but they have a default programming logic to them. Like their logic is to replicate by using outside sources to replicate. So like they have to. That's how they work. That's a default program. Like,
I feel like you're trying to correct something by just saying the same thing.
I don't feel like I am, but sure.
Like I think the thing you're trying to say is still just what he said in the first place. Like it's a really bizarre, like really specific hang up that's like not relevant to the point being made or something. I don't know.
Okay.
To Osawa, that fact held a certain air of mystery. If viruses had emotions, how would they feel about their lives? He had thrown himself into a virus research in search of answers to questions like that. Answers that no man could truly know. That's a stupid reason. Wait.
Wait, that's why you became a specialist?
You should have gone into virus research because you're trying to save people's lives, not because you want to anthropomorphize them. Fuck. Yeah, that one.
Like why would a virus need empathy? Like, what the fuck?
If you want to
that would make no
anthropomorphize
sense.
something, get a fucking dog and pretend it has normal human thoughts. Like, don't do that to viruses. How does a virus feel about its day? I'm like, no.
I don't know.
Stop.
That's like, I mean, that would be like asking if a firefly is okay knowing the fact that it will die faster than like humans are even born. Like, is it, like, does a firefly feel bad about that? Confused? Like scared? Like, do they
Does
think
a firefly know that it's a shitty metaphor for people that having fierce short lives?
I wanted to say, I think the only thing that kind of worries me about his job is I wouldn't enjoy being in a laboratory where you're studying a pathogen and then like one of the lab assistants like sneezes, because then I would be very paranoid that that person is like now infected. Like,
They sneezed once.
well, yeah, because like, don't you think it would be awkward to sneeze inside of a laboratory studying viruses? Like, everyone would look at you immediately as if like maybe he's contaminated, maybe he fucked up somehow. Like, I don't know. That would be my first reaction if I heard someone like sneeze or cough inside of a.
I'm not sure, because I'm kind of wondering if sneezing is even applicable to viruses. I wonder. Huh.
Maybe not. Coughing is possible. Well, I mean, a fever.
We're gonna quickly go up against the boundaries of our knowledge here.
Yeah. I mean, I know that. I know viruses can cause fevers. And coughing. I imagine they can cause sneezing, can't they? If there's just like, I don't know, twitching. What is sneezing? Sneezing is like your nose. Or the hairs in your nose.
I'm probably just trying to think of the list of things that even cause sneezing in the first place, and it's like usually just like allergies. I don't think a sickness has ever caused me to
Colds?
sneeze. Nah, colds are just like runny noses and like you blow your nose, but sneezing, no.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
His development of the antiviral agent had really been nothing more than another job responsibility. He felt no particular sense of duty to protect the people from the killer virus, really? Jesus.
What?
Wow.
Wait, what?
What a protagonist, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, maybe you should study yourself. Like, does this man not feel empathy towards the people dying of this disease? Like, does he only care?
How would this pathologist feel if he had emotions to think about his day?
Yeah, like how would this pathologist feel if he understood that his wife
That's why
is a human?
Yeah. Maybe that's why he left his fucking virus blackmail on the screen while his wife walked in and didn't question it, and why he fucking anthropomorphizes viruses is because he doesn't have emotions.
This person is like inhuman.
The virus, the number one thing I can relate to, they don't ask you to take out the garbage.
Wow,
oh, man.
That's your limitation on like what defines a really good thing to be in your life.
They don't expect you to be present. He was just happy for the chance to play around with the UA day after day. Okay, yeah, maybe you are responsible for bad things, and maybe you are. Wow.
Are you?
2 episodes, we really had a difference of opinion of this guy. Like, really,
yeah, wait.
like
How
one
did you?
page.
How can you honestly look at someone sending you an email that's like, this is your fault, like you're to blame, and you're just like, huh? How could that be my fault? It's like, I don't know, because you're a fucking sociopath who doesn't give a shit about the people infected, but only if you can play with the UA virus.
Yeah, last time we recorded this, we probably both thought like, oh, he's some kind of like humanitarian, like philanthropist, like scientist, helpy man that is here to save the day, and he's so great. He's got a code of ethics and everything. And now we look at this and it's like, oh no. He's anti-Tama.
Yeah, my original thought was like, he's committed to finding a solution to the virus because he, you know, just is committed to saving people, or at the very least, he's like
worse than L, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, at least L wanted to stop people from dying by a death note. Like, I mean, L was a sociopath to some
these
degree.
Close-ups of the eye, I'm like, oh, that eye's just kind of dead, isn't it?
Yeah, they are just fish eyes.
Get ready to inhabit this guy's brain a lot. Save. Another email arrived in his inbox. The sender, A. Subject line, 1 year ago, South Africa. Again.
What if this guy just kept changing the letters every time? So it's like A, B, C, D.
Then it becomes a slow code. Or he just emails him like 20 times and the subject lines are ONEYEAR. Like it's just the subject line being spelled out. I know what you did last summer with the UA.
What if like the last two messages from somebody are just from someone titled H? So it's just like I would love to read that inbox. Like it's just like, because you know like how Gmail is set up, so it just puts the sender's name in the first line, so you just see like A going all the way down and then like H.
Like he's about to sneeze. Like he's just winding up for a sneeze.
It all comes back to the sneeze.
Yeah.
Like this guy is actually just sick.
Or I'm thinking that White Rabbit.
Oh,
the
yeah.
kingdom of like they wouldn't write Asella read the message in robo voice.
Do not look away. These are your crimes.
Thanks, Kay. This time there were 4 images attached. Asella proceeded to open each of them in turn. And meat spin.
Oh god. He opens like goatee and he's like, this virus is worse than I thought. Like,
look what it did to that man's asshole.
Yeah, look what it did to this man's face. It's just an asshole now. Like,
oh, The Last of Us 2. Oh
Jesus.
No.
We're the worst people.
Yes.
Now we're making fun of everybody.
Yes, and also we're just ruining the brains of so many people. Don't Google anything we say.
What?
Don't Google anything we say.
How do you not know what goatsy is? How do you not know what meat spin is?
People are younger than that now.
I mean, that's not an excuse.
People are younger than the things we're talking about now.
I was there for the birth of it, which means I got to hear someone on the playground go like, yo, that goatsy was crazy. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And then I had to Google it and be like, oh, that was bad. Like,
I was at a LAN with Max where you knew that if you walked away from your laptop and you came back and your laptop was like tilted downward, that meant that it had something on the screen now.
Yeah.
Like invariably. So you just sort of like reach in and like control W or whatever to like get out without looking at the screen. The first shocked Osawa so much that he felt like he'd been punched in the head. But he doesn't care about people dying?
Well, he does apparently.
One of the UA patients from the earlier images was being injected with something. This T virus. It's just an umbrella. No. Osawa muttered to himself. It can't be. What would those be in Japanese? Those are like the lines you hear constantly.
Masaka.
The second image showed one of the infected hunched over in pain, vomiting up blood.
That happens. You know.
Would you say... This is the dumbest joke. Would you say that when he was injected, he was hooked on a feeling, and now that he's vomiting, he's chucking?
Wow. Wow, that was... I mean, you could say that.
I did.
I don't think you should. You would be the worst. You would be the worst humanitarian when there's like people dying of Ebola and you're making these kind of jokes. Like,
hooked on a feeling. There's like synchronized slow motion barfing in the background. Like,
Jesus.
I'm just thinking of like about the slow-mo intro of Guardians.
All I've got in my head now is like a combination of that intro, but like also in the background would be people vomiting blood. So it's like, are they making the Marvel logo while they're vomiting the blood?
It would be 6 people vomiting. And what it'd be is they'd be positioned behind each other, so their silhouettes are all lined up, so you wouldn't see that there's people behind each other. It would just look like 2 people at first. And as each of the 3 notes within that one yell happen, another layer of them would come out to vomit.
Would they be standing in different positions though? Like, would you have the people standing behind?
They're all sitting on the triage center beds. This is like the worst like synchronized comedy music bit about like a horrible scene.
I get what you're saying. I think that would be pretty good. Like,
I straight up have the shot in my head of how that would be filmed. In like a
it would just be
a really tone deaf comedy, or maybe it could be a comedy where it's a zombie apocalypse comedy, which is already like a weird tone thing to begin with, like Zombieland and stuff like that.
Just be careful, Keith, because this comment on this video could like ruin your chances to
fine, I'll just mail it to myself. That means I own it now, right? I heard that joke a bunch of times.
I mean,
but you would like, yeah, it'd be like the beginning of 28 Days Later when everyone's getting infected and that kind of thing. But it'd be like the infection scene, but in a shitty musical, dumb comedy zombie movie where the tone is weird.
The tone is weird.
That image is seared into my brain now.
Yeah, I've got like an equally seared image in my brain. Yeah, that's great.
Enjoy, everybody. You're
still going on about this, you sociopath?
I cannot. I've been thinking of Uwachaka for like the last 15 minutes.
Why? What the fuck? Who just thinks about Uwachaka? What the fuck?
It just came into my brain because it's the Uwa, and and then like the opportunity came up like way quicker than I thought. The symptoms had already manifested, but Osawa could see that that some degree of life had come back into the patient's eyes.
What the fuck does that mean?
He rushed to open the 3rd image. What
is the degree of life in someone's eyes? Like, they have a picture, like you look in their eyes and like you can see the reflection of them looking at a picture of their child, and they're just like,
you only had
happy?
one reference. Like, what was the other reference picture before?
A person that was like, oh, whoa.
It just shows somebody being injected. Oh, okay, so we have more pictures. Okay. I was like, how do you get to like the returning of life in your eyes in only 2 photos? I'm like, how do you convey that? And I'm like, oh, it's because it is one of the patients we saw earlier that was all messed up. So they were injected, and then it sounds like they were injected and then they threw up and then they got better?
Yeah, like they threw up blood, which was infected blood, and it was never... hello? Is there someone else in the room? That was really spooky.
We keep getting closer. It reminds me of Subnautica, where I just hear spooky sounds every 5 minutes. I'm like, I don't know what it means, but it's...
It kind of reminds me of like Rick and Morty in that one episode where right after the divorce, and it's like, loser. Like,
it showed a morgue piled high with corpses. The rictus of anguish on the dead faces made them look no longer human. Various fluids seeped from the eyes and nostrils.
Did you make zombies?
The lymph nodes were grotesquely swollen.
These are zombies.
No, well, no. I think they've just been wiped out by the virus. What? What was that sound? Did you hear that?
It was like a picture.
Yeah.
It's like the camera shutter. Small organs that function as part of the lymphatic system in mammals. When a foreign substance invades the body, the lymph nodes detect it, prompting the production of white blood cells such as lymphocytes and macrophages to consume the invader.
I think it's lymphocytes.
Lymphocytes? Okay.
Yeah.
And macrophages to consume the invader. A viral infection sometimes causes the lymph nodes to swell up as a result of increased activity. Actually, that's very true. You can check if you have an infection sometimes if you're skinny enough, by pressing on your lymph nodes, and you can feel they're swollen.
Yeah.
Doctors do that all the time when you go for a checkup.
I don't know if you even need to be that skinny, because there's like the ones under your sides of your jaw, I think.
Yeah, there's the ones, those ones are different though, because those ones won't always flare up. Those ones will flare up depending on what the infection is. So, like certain infections won't cause your throat lymph nodes to swell up.
I'm kind of glad we're just looking at his eye.
Yeah.
There were hospital beds stained with massive amounts of blood and gastric fluids. Oh.
Like all hospital beds are.
Boy. Next came the fourth and final image. Can I get some more pixels?
It's like a picture of him.
What is this, dark wood? Look at the resolution. More corpses.
Is that a corpse? Can you
I don't know.
That?
These are like super not helpful pictures.
I don't think Japan has corpses just lying around.
How did he see life return to his eyes in any of these pictures? He must be seeing better pictures than we're actually seeing. Like, significantly.
Well, we never saw the picture that had the life in his eyes, so maybe it was like a really close-up shot.
There's a macro shot that was 16 pixels tall.
Yeah.
This looks like Lone Survivor. Like, those aren't. I don't think those are even pixels. It looks like it's being. It looks like they put a weird like cloth filter over the screen.
Actually, it looks like they put a step. What is it called? A stepgraph? The one where you like where it turns audio into like a picture form, more or less.
Well, we tried to do one of those when we were trying to solve that one game.
Yeah,
so we realized it was a lost cause and that game wasn't fun.
Yeah,
that could have been such a cooler day.
That's the takeaway. It could have been such a cooler day.
The goddamn game. Was it the crypto? Monte Crypto, that game.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Monte Crypto. It reminds me of that with the way the pixels look, because it's like they're almost in a wave form.
Maybe it mostly reminds me of the weird cloth like screen filter that was over the whole screen in Lone Survivor.
Yeah, that too.
Because it was like that game was like a bunch of giant pixels, like it was an old game, but it had the filter on the screen that clearly could not be done on a game that was the resolution that was. Is like a weird additional thing. Although oddly, the original Silent Hill looks more like that than I thought. Like on PS1, it has like bizarre pixels that are not normal PS1 graphics. Like they were doing filtering all the way back then. More corpses. They had badges affixed to their chests with various labels. 6 hours passed, 12 hours passed, and 18 hours passed.
Oh,
wow.
Who the fuck is keeping track of that?
Yeah.
Like, like someone dies and it's like, all right, Jim, you're on fucking corpse duty.
Like, yeah, like this is super weird theatrics, right? Because like you'd expect somebody would be like, you'd expect you just take a picture of one corpse like every 6 hours or something and label the picture, but they specifically killed them every 6 hours and lined them up and then replaced the badges periodically to make the photo correct, basically. And it's like, this is a weird amount of theatrics compared to photographing the same body over and over again. It's also less effective of information, because watching one body change over time would be more effective than watching several different bodies at different intervals that aren't the same body progressing.
I don't know. I think they do that with like cancer ads sometimes, or smoking ads sometimes, where they're like, this is what you look like at like 1 year after smoking. This is 12 years. This is 45 years.
But this isn't to go on like a billboard or something. This is like to go on like, this is supposed to be like information for like scientific standards and stuff like that. Would be why you would document these kinds of things.
I don't think this is scientific standards by any. I don't think normally you scientifically take a picture of someone just randomly vomiting blood. Like,
no, I would.
Would you?
I would say that it makes sense. I don't know if it's ethical, some of the
like...
stuff that's happening here, but like there are. It would make sense to document the stages of like trying to, like treating the symptoms, documenting the symptoms over time, documenting attempts at like vaccination or.
Well, yeah, but again,
and like that, and like the photography of that would make some sense, and like photos of one body degrading over hours and things like that, like the progression of the disease would all make some sort of sense. But you'd want to have more than one photo of the same person. Like, I guess the point I'm saying is like bodies it seems in a line and they're all separately timed, and I'm like that's just a weird photo. I
guess the point I was trying to make is that it seems weird that some guy was just like holding a camera in front of somebody waiting for them to vomit blood. Like that just seems like a weird picture to like be anticipating, is all I'm saying. Like like it's not like the person was vomiting blood and he's like, "Ooh, that's a good snapshot," and like took a snapshot, like he was waiting for that. Because it's kind of hard to catch someone in the act of vomiting blood. It's not like a long thing.
You could be filming. You could be taking a lot of pictures, or you could be filming and then using a still.
That might be why it looks like poop then.
Yeah. It looked as if somebody had been attempting live trials with the antiviral agent. Osawa didn't consider the antiviral agent ready for release, but that was because his team hadn't conducted clinical trials on humans yet. Well, it looks like they have now. Not the best clinic, though. And there was a good reason why such trials hadn't been conducted. There was no way to test the efficacy of the drug without an infected patient. To run a proper clinical test, someone would first need to be infected with the UA virus.
Jesus.
No matter how effective animal testing had been, if the drug proved ineffective on humans, that person would have a guaranteed death sentence. It was unthinkable to run trials that involved such a deadly risk. And yet, as he looked over at the images again and again, Osawa became certain. Without his knowledge, someone, presumably someone from Okoshi Pharmaceutical, had conducted human testing with the antiviral agent. The time markers in the corpses in the fourth image were surely there to mark the time elapsed since the onset of symptoms. A thorough trial would test the drug's effectiveness in those time frames. Oh, they're not corpses.
He said they were.
Oh, I think they weren't corpses when the badges were put out. I think they tested the agent on people who were different levels of being into the disease to see who would be effective on. Like, do you have to get it like anti-venom? Like, do you have to get to get it to them in the first 6 hours, the first 30 minutes, or whatever? I hate that whole. I hate thinking about the whole concept. Minutes. It fucks with me. I hate the idea, like surprise spider, mostly like surprise snake bite. You better get to the right place at the right time and hope they have the right thing. Or,
I mean, at least
you shouldn't have been in Australia.
I mean, well, Australia is pretty cram-packed full of antivirus or anti-venom. I would imagine in every hospital, because like, what else is there? Yeah. Like, what else is a threat in Australia except for the wildlife? So I think they're always prepared. But I mean, at least we live in a time where it's not based on like an arbitrary understanding of how long it's been. You could just set you have a phone, you could just set a stopwatch and be like, okay, and start the clock. Like, Jesus Christ.
Loud noises.
Is that a Dell machine? Is that a Dell computer? Okay.
I don't know. It's real skinny. Computers got skinny when I went. That's something I noticed, is that when I wasn't paying attention, computers got really skinny and really small.
Not good ones, but yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I've always had gaming computers, so they've always been like, we have to fit the latest in here. Get up there, and everything's huge. But like, yeah. All the computers that aren't gaming computers, I'm like, look at that little thing. Look at that. You could hide that anywhere. Oh.
Yeah, I really like the ones that are like, if you go to the hospital, sometimes you'll see the ones that are like the size of a cube, basically, and they're just like on the back of the monitor, and they're like, this is my computer, and then they just pick it up and go, and I'm like,
which makes sense, because like an iPad is similar to a computer in a lot of ways, like hardware style, like the amount of like how much it's capable of, as far as like consumer computers that aren't going to do much. So I guess it makes sense. Like, at some point, we're going to go right back to that original thing from like school where the Macs were just a monitor that had the computer built in.
I mean, that was kind of the entire point. Like, that was the whole point. The whole point of making a computer for business sense was supposed to be like a replacement for typewriters, which are clunky and big and no one likes them. But yeah, and then all computers were clunky and big and no one liked them. And so now we finally made them not clunky and not big, and people like them because Facebook.
Except ours. Ours are the clunkiest and biggest, and yours looks like a motorcycle.
Yeah, but my motorcycle is able to do things that like 12 office
that they cannot even imagine.
Yeah, like
Osawa slammed his fist on the desk, enraged. It was nothing short of vile human experimentation in the guise of clinical testing.
What the fuck do you want? Do you care about the people that are actually infected, or do you not care about the people? Like, you can't have these weird ethics in certain situations where it's like, it's not ethically responsible to take a drug I've been working on and give it to people out of my command, but then be like, I also don't care about the lives of these people. I just want to see how viruses work. Like,
you went somewhere else than I thought you were, because I was about to talk about, like, there is like this whole catch-22 of like, what do you do when you have a thing that you can't test ethically, but the thing could save people, but there's no way to test it? But yeah, he's got a really bizarre contradiction where he's like, I got into this because I like to imagine hypotheticals about what viruses think about themselves instead of like saving people. And then he's like, vile human experimentation. I'm like, maybe we have to ignore that one page, like it didn't happen because it was too stupid. Like, it might actively contradict everything else about him.
I think it probably does.
I kind of feel like they didn't. I feel like they accidentally framed him as a sociopath for just one page.
It might have just been a translation
or
issue.
might literally just be ego. He might just be mad someone went around behind him and is doing the shit. Like, maybe he is that much. He might be that much of a piece of a shit. I don't know. A piece of a shit.
A piece of a shit.
You piece of a shit. The people responsible could not be allowed to get away with this.
You mean you?
There was only one person Osawa could trust to keep this under wraps, his boss, Makino.
The person who probably authorized this?
He reached for his phone to call Makino. It was me all along, haha. But he stopped short as soon as he picked up the receiver, thinking exactly that. Or not. He was in no state of mind to have a calm, reasoned conversation right now. Going to the CD player, he put on Aya Kamiki's latest album.
Fucking, are you serious? Like, you just found out there's been a giant breach in everything? Like, literally, your entire company has been working on this.
La, can't hear you. Leaning back in his chair, he surrendered himself to the soothing tones.
Right?
Just gonna ignore my problems. Bit by bit, he could feel himself returning to a calmer emotional state. There'd been a time when Osawa hadn't listened to music at all. In fact, he'd had no interest in the arts. In general, music, painting, cinema.
Sociopath.
Yeah. Oh, that's just printed on, huh? That's a fake crayon star.
Well, this is also a fake idol.
It was only due to a simple coincidence that he had found Aya Kamiki. Oh wait, isn't Aya Kamiki the person that,
Yes.
That, yeah, the first character idolizes and has on their phone? That's the same one.
His wife?
What?
His girlfriend or whatever?
Yeah, oh yeah, the one that we're still wondering, like, what if he really is the girlfriend and that's the twist? By the way, this is, I mean, I'm sure it might be licensed or whatever, but this seems to be made for the game or something. Or it's not. It does not trip the YouTube flags, this song.
Yeah, it's because it's a fake idol.
His daughter had asked for a CD as a birthday present, so he'd swung up by the store to pick one up. Since Kamiki's new album had just come out, there was a display for it in front of the shop. Something about the bright, colorful album packaging had drawn him in.
I would be really pissed off if I was that child. Like, dad comes home with one album, and he's like, oh, this is mine, I forgot to get you one.
He's listening to it instead.
Like...
After a time, Osawa could feel himself growing calmer. He took a nice, deep breath.
Tried to what?
Banish his nerves completely.
Tried to banish his nerves?
Basically, I guess it's a matter of, well, because that's the thing, is he's in a heightened emotional state and didn't think he could have a measured conversation. Now the question is, do we half-ass the calming process and call him now, or do we risk spending more time, which delays the conveyance of the information and also might risk a stupid bad end where he falls asleep or something? But the alternative is he might fuck up the conversation otherwise, so it's like that's the kind of toss-off we have right now. Isn't it interesting that
at this point at this point I don't really feel like either of them is a real decision.
Fine.
Because like both.
Let's give in to them. Let's give in to the idol.
Okay.
First, he took a nice deep breath. Then he closed his eyes and tried to banish his nerves completely, and then his entire nervous system evacuated his body through the anus.
Good God. Would you feel that?
The ultimate irony is that you don't feel it at all, because it's your nervous system.
Yeah, how does that work?
I'm sure you'd feel it a lot. That'd be horrible. You'd feel everything at once. You'd be pooping your very essence. Also,
I'm imagining it's like.
Also, your brain is in your nervous system.
Well, I mean, your nervous system is attached to your brain. I mean, your brain isn't in your nervous system. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, it's part of it.
It's part of it. It's not in it, though.
Like, I mean, it's not like in the middle of it, but like the nervous system.
No, but
is also the brain.
People who have nerve damage don't have brain damage. Like,
in some ways, it kind of is, but also they might.
No, it's an electrical issue. That's all it is. It's just like a shitty wiring.
I mean, you can summarize everything about the human body that way in a lot of ways. Everything about the brain and the nervous system and musculature. But
I'm saying, like, the brain itself, though, like, if you say you lose an arm, nerves go with it. You don't lose part of your brain. Like, you don't.
This is so thoroughly like the Bad Science podcast episode. Well,
I don't think that's bad science. I think that's pretty accurate.
I mean, the comments are just going to be going wild.
That's fine. Tell me all the theories you have on how brains and how it would feel to shit your nervous system out. Like,
yeah. Just thinking of that time in Watchmen where Dr. Manhattan respawns as just a nervous system. It's just a brain and a nervous system in a hallway that disappears. It's like,
I mean,
so much shit out of here.
What's the point of the body?
Inclining his head toward the music, he could feel the melody pervade his body. He could scarcely believe there had been a time where he hadn't cared about music. Surely, that had such a strong effect on his body. Surely something that had such a strong effect on his body and mind alike also conveyed a deeper meaning. Osawa let the positive energy flow through him, buoying his spirits. At last, when his mood had sufficiently calmed under the music's influence, Osawa reached for the handset. Of course. So that's the timing difference as this happens. The study opened and a stolid-faced man appeared in the doorway. That's not a word you see much.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Osawa. Would you mind coming to the living room for a moment? Wait. Excuse me?
All these guys were here the whole time with hilarious cheese saucers.
Also, yeah, right? Also, this is your home, right? Like your house, or is this your office, or like where are we right now?
Yeah, how many people work at his house all the time?
Did a legal team just show up and like set up shop and like it was a Starbucks? I don't really know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, we did not know about this going in. The detectives assembled in the living room all wore grave expressions. The room was brimming with tension, and Osawa felt it ramp up even further as he entered. "What is it?" he asked. "Has something happened?" The man who had come to find him turned to speak, hesitating at first.
Yes. It turns out that your other daughter, Hitomi, has been abducted by an unknown party.
Oh my god.
Shit.
He's the father of the abducted girls. Now it all comes together. So they're probably being kidnapped because of the virus in some way.
Wait.
We have context.
Are you fucking kidding me? This man is a sociopath. He would rather work than focus on his daughter's kidnaps.
Also, now we have 3 different characters connected to that idol.
Wow,
because now the daughter also knows that idol, which is the central character of at least the beginning of the story.
So does that mean that the idol's gonna save the day?
Maybe the idol is Tama. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
She forgot who she is.
That would be amazing. Like Tama shows up at the very end of the whole game and she just does a concert in costume. It just feels like a really weird thing to add in there. Like, I would understand if it was like an inside joke, but it just seems like a weird thing that so many people in this story happen to be invested in. What, the same idol? Yeah. Like, it almost seems like a Chekhov's gun that's going to just go off at some point. Yeah. Like, although we only have 2 instances of the idol so far. Sure. Mainly because 2 of the characters that care about them are just from the same family and have the same exposure and stuff. What? That transition. Abducted? Osawa's mind whirled. What are you talking about? Maria's the one who's been abducted. No, sir, you don't understand. I'm saying that Hitomi has also been abducted, in addition to Maria. Don't be ridiculous. The night before, his daughter Maria gets kidnapped, and this morning his other daughter Hitomi gets carried off when she goes to deliver the ransom? He never heard anything more outrageous in his life. We're sorry, sir. A detective was with her, but... The police went on to explain that Hitomi had somehow managed to end up all by herself, and while she was alone, several individuals had forced her into a car and driven off. Wait, what? So our timeline where we ran with her didn't happen? No, they got caught. Remember? Yeah, but we didn't see the end of that story, so... Well, that's because we haven't played forward with that character. Okay. We're just learning what happened in this character's timeline. So we're hearing what happens by default, more or less, which I don't know. Well, when we play as the trash guy, either there won't be any options and this will happen, or we could maybe change what happens, and maybe there might even be we might even get a bad end in this story right now because we need to do something with the trash guy to change whether or not she gets kidnapped. Okay. But as of right now, we haven't played that story at all, so it's doing a version. Osawa could barely comprehend what they were saying. His mind was in a fog. The detective's words seemed to grow quieter and quieter. Ooh. Jesus. Osawa's strength drained from his body. His ability to process external stimuli began to drift far, far away. It's not possible. It can't be. Could no one keep them safe? Not me. Not anyone? Not even the trash man? The magical trash man? Kiryu Kazuma? My girls, they tell me. Maria, it's not true. This is all just a bad dream. Some kind of sick joke. It's not true. It's not. It's all just a bad dream. It's a lie. It's a twisted joke. Someone made this up. Stop it. Stop it. Saying this. Stop saying this. It's really hard to do with that. Okay, it's gone anyway. Punctuation's important. Slowly, the ceiling began to spin, and then he died of a stroke. Osawa's vision went awash with white. Is Osawa Junpei? This is a hell of a... Oh, there we go. I was right. Okay.
Worst case scenario.
How would this get any better if we listen to the music longer?
Well, we could have had the call potentially, which
You pick the one.
I picked the one where we listened to the music longer.
I thought you picked the one where you calmed his nerves.
Yeah, that's listening to the music longer.
Oh, what was the other one?
Make the call now.
Oh, I thought it said turn up the music.
Oh, you were really not in sync with that decision at all. No, your choice was to either make the call now, or you could listen longer to calm yourself down more.
Oh.
That's why I said we could either half-ass the whole calming down part, or we could, like, keep going and potentially, like, fall asleep or whatever was what I was thinking. But instead we got interrupted.
Okay.
Time chart. Whoa, that's way further in the... Wow, that was almost the entire hour.
Yeah.
I kind of got a feeling from that, because, like, we were, like, here, or, like, something, and, like, it hit a point where, like, every, like, 5 screens or so, it was saving again. I'm like, already? And I think whenever it saves, that means you got to another square. And it was saving a lot when we were playing as that guy. I'm like, holy crap.
So should we try and change that ending, then?
We could change that, or we could try to see what happens with a different character. Like, in particular,
I'm just wondering, because
his bad end was directly influenced by Achi's timeline.
I guess, because I'm just thinking, we literally haven't had any transition or jump options.
Yeah, well, that's I think a jump moment happens when the two timelines are synced up with each other.
Yeah.
Like, people interact with each other, or you can, like, hop between their timelines. I'm also not entirely convinced that the jump feature is even... I'm not even entirely convinced it's useful. It's just like an option. Like, you can go play that guy's timeline. Oh, wait, no, right. A jump's necessary to... They said that sometimes a jump might be necessary to even continue someone's timeline.
Yeah.
But it hasn't come up a single time since that tutorial hours and hours and hours ago. So, I don't know.
Alrighty then.
We could keep setting up characters, or we could try to find out what's happening in the main timeline to directly connect to what his call just was.
I feel like we should probably just keep setting up we should set up the 3 characters, and then it gives us the opportunity to jump between all of them when we play the other 2 main characters.
Yeah.
Because then
Norikawa.
Alright.
I bet he's funny.
What?
Let's see. Do you want to do a voice for him? He's always on the case. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
I'm like guessing at what his personality might be. He looks like he looks animated, and I think he's a reporter or runs a newspaper or something. I think.
Maybe.
Boo.
Sure.
Frantic. That also sounds animated.
Yeah. Well, he is riding a moped?
He's in a hurry. Yeah, what they called a moped? Or no, wait, that's just a... Wait, I think that's a bicycle.
No, wait.
Is it?
No, because it's got a speedometer in the center. It's either a moped or a Vespa.
I guess we'll see better in a moment.
I guess. Or they're both the same thing. I don't even know.
I literally only know about the word moped largely because of, what is it? It kept coming up constantly in, like, Da Vinci Code or something. Like, everyone gets around on mopeds, and I'm like, alright, I'm just learning things now. In California,
Can I
we
read
have
the line
cars.
first?
No.
God damn. The Super Cub 90 raced down Route 246 toward Shibuya.
Shibuya.
A motorcycle produced by Honda with an 85cc engine displacement. Common sight around town, often used by newspaper and postal delivery workers. Many owners are big enthusiasts, sometimes even swapping out parts such as the handlebars or mufflers and giving the body a repaint, resulting in fashionable bikes that don't even look like Super Cubs at the first glance.
So I think it's one of those it's one of those, like, smaller body looking motorcycles, like, that are almost closer to what you... Like, I mean, like, almost closer to the ones that you see, like people use, like, when they go, like, out in the dunes, where there'd be, like, dune buggies and ATVs and motorcycles, as opposed to, like, a Harley Davidson or the stereotypical, like, vaguely fish-like, like, finned Japanese bikes that have, like, the body and like, the style and all the weird, like, the plates or whatever on them.
Okay.
I think his is like the stripped down type of like bare bones equivalent of motorcycle, where it's just like it's the like you got the engine, you got the seats that's narrow. It's just got handlebars and a little circular light sticking out of the front, and no like weird plates or like extra details. Like the ones that look the ones where the word motorbike sounds very accurate because it looks similar in structure to a bike.
Ah.
The ones you see a lot in 80s anime.
Wow. The speedometer remained at a steady 60 miles per hour. Really? 60? Come on, man. That's pathetic. Pumping the gas harder was no use. This was as fast as the bike would go. Oh.
Oh.
Whoa! Is this Sonic the Hedgehog?
Way fast, cool.
Minorikawa shouted as he sped along.
Oh my god, this is Sonic Adventure music.
Right?
Once the guitar, once the lead guitar came in, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's big text.
Right? Damn it, I'm not letting you die. He jerked the handlebars and blew past a truck on the inside. The driver scowled at him as he shot by.
You maniac, you trying to get yourself killed?
Just the opposite. Minorikawa shouted back. I'm saving lives. The stoplight ahead turned red, cutting him off at the intersection. Oh, come on. Ah, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a...
Yeah, no... Yeah, that's more bike than it is...
That's a low-power motorcycle.
Yeah. He had no choice but to slam on the brakes. But his agitation boiled over as he waited for the signal to change again.
It's like the exact kind of motorcycle I expect in a country that has more pedestrians than traffic.
Yeah.
We need to make a bike that can't kill anyone.
How long is this thing gonna stay red? Up already. Hurry up already.
Isn't this same... Didn't he do this voice for the other character?
I have a gimmick. Just hold on.
Okay.
He brought the bike right up to the very edge of the line, keeping the engine revved like a dragster ready to peel out. Not on time is not my dictionary. The light turned red. Then Minorikawa's own light turned green at last. He hit the accelerator as hard as he could. His engine died with a sputter.
Good use of sound effects.
Right? Huh? Oh, come on, what the hell?
He just feels cool on motorcycles.
Yeah, that's his motorcycle voice. Car horns blared angrily behind him.
Like that both you and the game were on the same tone of deflating this moment.
In a fury, he pulled his bike over to the side of the road.
Oh,
this poor bike. No matter what he did, the engine refused to turn over. Was the problem with the spark plug, or maybe the battery? Probably the battery. He didn't have the time to figure it out now. With tears in his eyes, he left the bike, his companion of 10 years abandoned on the roadside.
Oh, goodbye to that voice.
Probably the battery.
Oh.
He was about to break into a run when he saw a taxi dead ahead, letting out a passenger.
I love that he had this bike for one square of the timeline.
Now it's gone.
Yeah.
He hurried to hop into the cab. He also just didn't want to call a mechanic for this 10-year-old friend he had.
Yeah. Well, I think he's in a hurry.
Just headed for Shibuya Station. I'll let you know exactly where once we get lost, or once we get closer. What does that say? King what company? King Kong? King Kong Company?
I don't know, it's a bad angle. It almost looks like King Cook. Because that doesn't look like a G at the end. But yeah, it's a bad angle. King Conk.
King Kong?
Well, that's horrible to say. King Conk Company. Demons. Souls.
The KKC. Well, I'm glad it wasn't like King Conk and then company spelled with a K. Because that would be really awkward.
Oh, no.
Like, let's see. The taxi driver nodded coolly. Coolly? Really?
Of course, sir.
Nope, it's wait, King Kook Company.
Hey, I was right.
Kook isn't a good word.
Yeah, that's a weird. I don't know what that label is.
Yeah.
Huh.
10 minutes.
Hmm?
I need you to get me there in 10 minutes. The driver grimaced.
I'm afraid getting there in 10 minutes is a bit...
15 then.
I like that he's just giving up. All right. Sir, that's still...
Look, that's all the time I can afford.
Assuming traffic conditions are cooperate, sir, then maybe. I can't make any promises.
Minorikawa looked at the driver's ID photo above the fare meter. His name was Hachiro Kimizuka. He was a middle-aged fellow, looking a little rough around the edges. Wow. Fucking rude. Mr. Kimizuka, I chose you for this. You can do it.
Chose me? Sir, I'm pretty certain we met by chance.
Kimizuka is not having any of this shit.
No.
Like, he was a hardened taxi veteran.
Also, rough around the edges. It's like... seems fine. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's why I was like, damn, what the
Dude's
fuck?
got a patch.
And he said something coolly, and he has glasses. Okay, sure. I suppose you could phrase it that way. Anyhow, can we get going?
Right, Kimizuka said with a faint sigh. I'll see what I can do.
The taxi pulled away at a decent clip.
Added motion blur to a still shot of a non-mobile vehicle.
Minorikawa's frantic journey had started 20 minutes earlier. Wait, are we going back in time? I don't think that's how this works.
Yeah, I've got questions.
He'd been at home working on an interview piece.
Oh my god, it's flashing.
He clucked his tongue in annoyance as the ringing phone broke his train of thought.
We're reaching all new standards of cheap animation, where the phone can ring.
I mean, you say that, but like, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'm really amused by how many little tools they're using in this game. Like, it's
a GIF, but
there's so much work going into this, and like all these little touches you don't expect. Where I keep expecting just photos, and then like they'll have like somebody prostrating themselves or doing other things, and like or the phone ringing. I'm like, oh, it's animated. Look at that.
Yeah. But why did someone always call right when the words were flowing? If he didn't keep getting interrupted, he probably could wrap this piece up in no time. Maybe put your phone on silent? And be quiet! He pointed at the telephone as he yelled. I'm writing here! But his shouting did nothing to silence the ringing. He didn't have much of a choice but to pick it up. Minorikawa speaking. There was no response. Hello? He hesitated, ready to hang up. Was this a prank call? Give him a voice.
I don't know. It could be anybody.
It could be anybody.
It could be the dirigible commander.
Oh, God.
It's me. It's Toyama.
It was Toru Toyama, the president of Heaven Publishing. A publishing company that puts out both hard-hitting non-fiction books and tabloid-style scandal rags. The Invincible Journalist, penned by company president Toyama himself, was a candidate for the Japan Non-Fiction Prize. So, what do you want? If this is about work, I'm already booked pretty full. He'd taken work from Heaven Publishing on several occasions, but the pay was hardly competitive. Lately, he'd been turning them down a lot, so he hadn't heard from Toyama in a while.
No, this isn't work-related.
Then, what do you want? I'm kind of pressed for time here, working on some copy. Minorikawa was in no mood to beat around the bush. It seemed like every conversation he had with Toyama went like this.
Ah, you're busy. That's good. Busy's good when you're a freelancer.
Yeah, that's hitting a little close to home, but yeah. Toyama sounded unusually sympathetic. Minorikawa found it off-putting. I hear sales... Oh, sorry.
I hear sales have been good on your end.
Oh, no, I think that was me.
I can't tell. They're both he's.
Yeah, I can't tell. I hear sales have been good on your end, he said cautiously. With this month's 4-Star General Gossip and all... 4-Star General Gossip was a monthly magazine, Heaven Publishing's flagship publication. A magazine focusing on the private lives of celebrities and politicians. Most of the articles found in these pages are random nonsense, but 1 out of every 100 or so contains an actual major scoop, making it a difficult outlet to ignore. Well, I mean, it's
one of
pretty
every
easy to
100
ignore.
has an important thing.
I mean,
wow,
it's
what a
pretty easy to
ratio.
ignore based on that cover.
What an
It's like
honor.
the cover of that
That's
cover of
just
that
an
magazine.
arrow.
Yeah, it's literally pointing to another magazine. Like, read that one instead. Like,
It looks like a pamphlet at an airport.
it kind of does, yeah. It had a small circulation and for the most part flew under the radar, but once in a while they'd land some big scoop and sell like crazy.
We're gonna say it's hard to ignore when it has a small circulation and only has something important 1 out of every 100 issues.
This month's edition had come with a free scratch card, a gimmick that had moved 100,000 copies with ease.
Oh my god, and it's only monthly?
Yeah.
That means it has... that means it has like one major thing every like 9 years. It's a terrible rate. What the fuck? No, it's super easy to ignore. This is it's like finding out...
Super easy to ignore.
Yeah. Paying attention to this thing is like expecting to have a scoop on the president from Game Informer. Like, it's like, no, it sucks and nothing will ever happen for a decade. It's...
let's see. Five winning...
I forgot who Minokoro. I got these names.
5 winning symbols in a row wins 100,000 yen, was it? Minorikawa asked. A weak, moist sound came through the receiver. Baffled, Minorikawa listened more closely. It came again, then again. It kind of sounded like sobbing.
How the fuck do you hear moist sounds? I was like yeah, but I'm like, sobbing? How do you...
Sobbing would just be like...
I guess they heard sniffling, probably. I'm like, because like,
I don't know.
You can't cry. Your tears can't be loud. You can't hear tears over the phone. Like, it doesn't work.
That is a line I expect to hear from like the worst villain character in a show or something, where he's like where he's beating on like an innocent child, and it's like, your tears are too loud for me. Shut up. And it's like,
oh my god.
It's like this person is so insane. They're beating a child for how loud their tears are. It's not even a thing. Like,
Daredevil gone bad.
Mr. Toyama, are you crying?
No, shut up. You're crying.
No, I'm typing. There's a difference. I cry after I'm done.
When nobody pays me.
Oof, freelancing. There was another soft sob, and then yet another.
Ooh.
Are we playing Lavender Town in Pokemon? Oh, what's going on? where are you? Minorikawa asked.
At the office, Toyama managed. He let out another mewling whimper. God damn.
What's the matter?
It's nothing.
Well, it's gotta be something. Come on, what is it?
Toyama gave no reply.
Mr. Toyama? Are you still there?
Silence.
Silence. What is it? What happened? Look, doesn't tell me anything.
Are you a Mario enemy?
What the hell's going on?
Toyama squeaked out a drawn-out whine.
Okay, I'm sick of this. I'm hanging up now.
Wow, way to be emotionally present for your coworker. Oh wait,
it's
not, wait, I forgot not coworker, right? So I'm like, holy
company
shit.
Head. Minorikawa was about to break the connection when he heard Toyama murmur.
It's like, what are you, being emotionally vulnerable now? Fuck this. The only thing I can do now is die.
The taxi lurched to a sudden stop as the driver slammed on the brakes.
So that's where he's charging off to.
Yeah. Wow, that was an interesting animation.
It looked like those gifs where like a cat attacks the camera, where they like rear up and they're motionless, and then in one frame they're just gone.
Minorikawa pitched forward, his face smacking against the back of the seat in front of him. Kimizuka stuck his head out the window.
Careful, buddy, he shouted at someone in the street ahead. You're gonna get yourself killed. It's gonna be someone we... Yep. Yep. So he gets in this whole story because the detective commandeers the vehicle. Boom.
Minorikawa blinked the stars from his eyes and saw a man moving alongside the cab. The guy grabbed onto the handle of the back.
Please, I need you to let me have this cab.
No way! Minorikawa snapped. Just who did this guy think he was?
Please, I'm begging you here.
Look, I'm in a hurry, pal. Get your own cab.
I know how ridiculous this must sound, but please. This is really, really urgent.
Urgent?
Yes, it's a matter of life or death. Please. The guy did look pretty desperate.
Yeah, the guy looked... Yeah. Look, I'm sorry, but I'm dealing with something urgent here, too.
He just likes to point.
Yeah, right?
Just his thing.
I love it.
Then let me ride with you. I'll pay for the whole fare. My entire future's on the line here. The guy sure was persistent. I had no idea who line...
Whose line is it anyways?
Yeah. Because in the past, I would pause and then you would be like, oh, okay. And then come back a moment later, I'm like, oh, maybe I was supposed to read that. But I can't. It's so hard.
I'm also as confused.
The guy sure was persistent. Maybe he's telling the truth.
But Minorikawa had problems of his own. Sorry, buddy.
The whip noises.
It's life or death on my end, too. I gotta look after me and mine.
Right. So sorry to trouble you.
Finally, the guy gave up and shuffled away. Guess it couldn't have been all that much of a life-ending crisis after all. Minorikawa checked his wristwatch.
I'm a little surprised that wasn't a choice.
Damn it!
What?
That just cost us 5 minutes.
No, it didn't. It's impossible. I'll try to make it up, sir. The driver called back.
The taxi lurched into motion, the engine quickly revving up to speed.
That exchange was like 10 seconds long.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Once inside the building, he avoided the elevator in favor of rushing up the stairs. Heaven Publishing rented out the third and fourth floors. In all likelihood, Toriyama would be at the editing department of 4-Star General Gossip on the 4th floor. When he got there, however, the door was locked. Mr. Toriyama! Hey, Mr. Toriyama! He shouted and banged, but there was no reply. Something was seriously wrong. Minorikawa took a deep breath and then kicked the door in. Whoa! God damn it. Just thinking of that old dead meme now, the Crash Bandicoot. Whoa!
That was a meme?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
I guess it's real dead.
Yeah, it was like a huge meme that people kept like abusing to the extent that it was almost inhuman. Like they were somehow making full-on music with it.
Yeah, I have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, look it up. It was by Oni, I think. Oni was the one who spread it. Because he did like a Let's Play of Crash Bandicoot.
These things completely pass me by. Like that that Aku thing you said, you're the only person I've ever heard mention that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I love Extra Thick.
I have no idea what meme. I have no idea.
I think I still use it every so often because it's just so good. Maybe just use Twitter more often.
That's a mistake. Twitter directly contributes to unhappiness.
Well, that's factually true, but the current meme going on is Bongo Cat, so there, dated the video for you.
Yeah, somebody tweeted at me, was like, I think you'd like this version of Bongo Cat, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. What the fuck's a Bongo Cat? I'm like, version? There's other ones?
You're just like, everything about this sounds too complicated, I don't want any part of it. Like,
I was like, why am I getting on like the 12th stop? Like, I'm so late already. I'm like, fuck it, I'm out.
I've seen some good. I will say Twitter always takes memes to a really good place sometimes because you can just see. I'm assuming people who are like at work and not having anything better to do, because like some of these take way too much time. And
everyone's
there's no way they're
sad all the time.
Yeah, but
hi audience.
The sight as he stepped into the office filled him with horror.
Whoa.
Whoa! Whoa!
No!
Oh, wow, you were really glamorizing this with this music. Is it Dracula? Like,
yeah, this is like a little less sad than I would go for. Like it's got like the funeral organ going on, but it's like hype ass Castlevania music.
Yeah, this sounds like we just walked in on Dracula being summoned and Belmont's just like, Dracula!
Maybe the camera will whip pan back around and you will see like a summoning circle on the floor.
Oh my god.
He's floating over it. He's not hanging.
He's just consumed by the demon. He's just like,
finally arrived, Minorikawa.
The same could be said of our religion.
The elder gods have a request for you to write for us.
Like, all right, let's see. Minorikawa clutched to the sides of his head. I'm too late.
Is that a bad end already?
Oh no! If only I'd gotten here a little sooner.
So now we have bad ends for two characters that are clearly need us to do specific actions as the first two characters.
Yeah.
Like not hassle the taxi driver, apparently, to save this guy's life. Jesus
Christ.
The stakes that are at hand today are insane.
Like, I don't want it to be
just
my
5
fault.
minutes. Oh.
Wow. That is, you don't even... The option select hint is just fucking unnecessary. We get it. We understand how we fucked up. Like, goddamn.
Well, that's all the new characters. They all got bad ends.
How long did that go for, by the way?
What? The entirety of Minorikawa?
Yeah. That was like 5 minutes.
Oh, you mean in-game. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that was like 25 minutes? Okay.
Yeah, it was like 25 minutes. Because because remember the drive was going to be like 15 minutes, and then they lost 5 minutes.
Oh, Oh, right. Yeah.
So it's just driving. Whereas this guy was just looking at like 4 photos and it took him like 40 minutes. I'm like, holy crap, dude. All right. So now I got to figure out what happened with these guys. I'm interested in seeing what happens here because, you know, direct gun hold up and everything. Achi. Let's find out what happened after the gun moment.
Oh no!
With the guns!
With the guns!
At gunpoint. Well, to the point. Aha.
The man with the cane aimed his gun at Hitomi, his face devoid of emotion. I'm gonna give him. Whoa! What voice did I give this guy?
Well, it's the girl.
Oh. Please, the girl said, trembling. Why are you doing this?
Has this guy ever spoken? I thought he was just chasing us. Like the Terminator. Remember?
I thought he did speak at one point. No, maybe he hasn't. You're right.
I don't remember speaking.
But the man did not reply.
And he still isn't.
Good for him. Oh.
Whoa.
Quickly, Achi stepped in between Hitomi and the gun.
That won't stop the bullet at all.
Sure it will.
It'll stop one bullet.
He's gonna recycle it.
This is my recycling hand. It just like sucks up the bullet.
What is this, Full Metal Alchemist? He's like Scar. One hand destroys, the other creates. Like one recycles, the other pollutes. Like I have to. Stop, he said in English, one of the few English words he knew. He quickly reverted back to Japanese. Who the hell are you? What? Wait, shit. That's
How
not
is he-
Japanese.
How is he so sure that he needs to speak English in the first place?
I think because because the guy looks like a foreigner, I guess. I don't know.
It's like that
what would
awkward moment where somebody in California tries to speak Spanish at someone because they just assume, they make the mistake of just assuming they only speak Spanish and they just look like an asshole.
Who would ever assume someone in America only speaks one language that's not English? That seems like a really weird assumption to ever make ever.
Oh my god. Can you hear that?
Wow, you got a plane coming in.
Yeah, that's really loud. Whoa.
That's coming in hot.
Are they doing fucking air shows today? You're gonna ruin all my recordings. Fuck off. My job's more important. That's on the list of things you don't expect to get in the way. That you don't think about when you start doing this is like, oh yeah, weird jets are just gonna fuck with your job.
I remember I complained about this like when it happened back in my house. They had like the fucking Travis Air Show or whatever, and it only happens once every like 5 years or something. And I was like, oh cool, it happened on this year while I'm recording. Fuck off. And they're like, it's so loud because the jets fly literally as low as like legally possible to the houses.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Not generally comfortable with just having jets flying around all the time, doing like
that's another
tricks
thing.
and shit. And I'm like, but I live here.
It's a weird like acceptable form of patriotism that no one questions about the fact that if one of those fucked up, it would just devastately. It would
I
just
super
devastate.
question it. Weird military
you know what I
jets
mean?
flying overhead,
Like,
Pledge of Allegiance. It's all like weird, like North Korea shit that the United States just acts like is normal. And I'm like, no, stop. This
ironically,
is weird and creepy.
we act like it's normal for us,
Why can't
but
they go
anybody
fly
else who
around in all
does
the
it,
deserts that are empty in this giant ass country? There's so much empty space in the United States, and they fly over the houses. I'm like, why?
because
Why
that's
are
where
you
the
doing
people
that?
are to come watch the planes. It's kind of like saying, hey, why don't you pay us money to come watch us fly around your tax dollars and then use your tax dollars to refuel these planes. Like, Still, the man did not respond. You know this guy, Hitomi? No. Achi was sure he'd never seen the man either. What are you after? Money? Because if you are, boy, are you wasting your time chasing us. The man furrowed his brow, adjusting his point of aim to Achi's face.
Yeah, why did he speak English to this guy?
A racist.
Like, but he's... He's not foreign. Is he?
I mean, maybe he would only imagine a foreigner would have a gun in Japan.
Yeah, it's like a gun. He must be American. I have face blindness.
Wow. Face blindness.
Oh god, it's like that shower joke that was happening. It's like how do Americans shower? Just like you, silly. First we pull out the shampoo, then we pull out our gun, and that kind of shit. I
love American stereotypes.
Yeah.
I love it because everyone else gets really mad. I love it because everyone else in the world gets mad if we stereotype them, but then it's like stupid Americans. It's like,
oh yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what's going on? Isn't this racist? It's like, no, because you're Americans. Like that. Isn't this racist? Like,
universally acceptable to shit on the Americans specifically.
Yeah, because it's like we did something bad or something, and I'm just like, wait, aren't you guys the ones who did world wars and genocides and like all that shit? What the fuck did we ever do? We did slavery like once and apologized for it. You guys didn't. Like,
where are you taking this? What are you doing?
I'm saying that this is. I don't know why Achi thinks this guy is American, because he's not American.
I don't understand what you're saying anymore.
His bloodthirsty gaze left Achi no doubt that he was willing to pull the trigger. What tipped you off? The fact that he has a gun? Like, the fuck? Reflexively, Achi took a step back, his foot clattering against a discharged beer bottle. Or discarded beer bottle. Discharged. Glub, glub, glub.
Beer bottle has been discharged. Beer man.
Wow, that's a shitty superpower, Mega Man. He just like he like shakes his blaster and it shoots a bunch of beer at people. We're going to get gunned down for sure. Unless we can find some way to catch this guy off guard. It didn't need to be much. If Achi could just distract the gunman for a moment, buy himself the briefest window.
What's that? Huh? What?
Shoot me then. Go on, do it. He stepped forward as he shouted, hoping the provocation would confuse the guy for just long enough. Doubtful. Even as Achi moved, the gunman's attention was distracted for an instant by a sudden sound. The phone in his breast pocket was ringing. Okay. That's an odd ringtone.
Yeah.
It sounded more like vibrating.
Well, you still call it ringing, even when it's not ringing. It's one of those things where we have so many options that could be equally bad.
Okay, lunge forward's gonna get you shot.
Snatch up the beer bottle and swung it up at the assassin? That's a typo.
No, seeing this chance, Achi snatched up the beer bottle and swung it at the assassin.
Oh. Yeah. I wasn't thinking of it as a continuous sentence. Whoops.
That's what the ... dots are for, you asshole.
Where would we run?
Well, the running is just going to get us shot in the back.
We can't run past him.
No. We would run further into the bar.
Well, I think he needs Hitomi. So if we run with Hitomi, Hitomi is being dragged behind us, and then he's right back to not being able to shoot again. Because he could hit her.
Or he just grabs her and then just shoots us from behind.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know where we'd run to, honestly.
Yeah, that either. I feel like we would just run and then he would corner us somewhere else in the bar and kill us.
Let's go fire Chekhov's beer bottle.
Yeah.
Foot on!
Seeing this chance, Achi snatched up the beer bottle and swung it at the assassin. The man narrowly avoided being struck, but he staggered wildly off balance. Hitomi. Achi grabbed her by the hand and dashed out of the club. The two sprinted away through the side streets and alleys of Shibuya. Achi began to feel as if they were running some maddening maze. Before long, the two had made it almost as far as Aiyama.
Yeah, I'm thinking use fewer hiding spots and just make a bunch of random turns so that aren't going anywhere, and then he should be able to catch you eventually.
Pretty much.
I'm guessing it's her, but I don't know.
Wait up! Achi, wait up!
Achi glanced back at Hitomi. Oh, my bad, guess we've been running pretty hard. You tired? Hitomi shook her head.
No, it's just... I have to get to Dogenzaka.
Dogenzaka? What for? What could she possibly need to be there? Need to do there now?
That's what I was told when I handed over the Itachi case.
The man leaned in to whisper to Hitomi as he reached out for the case.
You're going to do exactly as I tell you. 2 things.
You wore a cool, feigned smile, as if this were some casual conversation.
First, you're going to go to Dogenzaka and get in the blue van there.
Hitomi nodded wordlessly.
Second, you will not attempt to contact either the police or your family in the meantime.
His chilling tone brooked no argument.
Just those 2 things, and we'll let your sister go.
One of those sounds like they're going to kidnap you instead.
Yeah. Maybe they'll let her sister go. Yeah.
That's never how this works.
No.
Like, never, ever, ever. Hitomi nodded again. The man flashed her a big, bright grin.
Okay, then. Give me the money. Motorcycles.
She doesn't let go, and she's like, you didn't pass go.
Yeah.
A blue van in Dogenzaka, huh? Achi muttered. So that's why you said the police were a no-go.
Yes, exactly.
Hitomi's voice betrayed her desperation. I wonder if your sister's in that van, then. If she is, then we've got to hurry. The issue lay in how to get to Dogenzaka. They could probably avoid their pursuer if they kept to the streets only the locals usually knew about. That meant staying off the more well-trafficked routes like Roppongi-dori or the stretch between Suzaka. Yeah, Suzaka. I don't know why I always get hung up with that one. And the station. The side roads south of the station were their best bet.
It's okay. If you just watch 5,000 more hours of anime, you'll get caught up.
Maybe. It was going to be a long detour. Alright, come on. Turning, Achi headed back the way they'd come. After a moment's confusion, Hitomi followed.
So, aren't they running away from... I'm confused now. Aren't they running away from the guys that are the people that they're after her, but also they're going to go to her?
Well,
they're going to go to where they wanted them to go anyway?
Well, the weird, confusing part is why is there a gunman chasing Hitomi when Hitomi is going to go to Dogenzaka anyway?
Yeah, is the gunman an extra party in all of this? That's not the police and not the ransomer, but another party?
I think so.
Because otherwise, if they're running away from the gunman, why would they just go to where he wants them to go anyway? It's weird.
Achi?
These Mr. Robot camera angles.
There was a note of worry in her voice. Hey, don't sweat it. I actually live in Dogenzaka. We're headed right back to my old neighborhood.
Your old neighborhood or your current neighborhood?
Both. Because he left it to go clean up trash in Shibuya.
At which point it became his old neighborhood, because he's not there at this exact moment.
He has the memory, or he has the attention span of a dog, where it's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Like, Hitomi bowed her head. Bowed? Really? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Are you eating and talking at the same time?
No, I'm trying to take a drink of water.
Oh.
Doing his voice actually, kind of wears
destroys you.
Yeah. Hey, it's no problem. I had to head home anyway.
It's part of why I specifically don't do that, because I will just wreck my day.
Yeah, it's fine. You get used to it after a while. It's like any muscle. You work it out enough, it's good to go. Achi gave her a grin.
Or you get or you get throat nodules.
What? You get what?
Or vocal nodules, vocal notches. You can develop permanent damage and stuff.
Permanent? Like, what does that even mean? Like, mean you tear your throat?
If you're not careful with your voice, you can develop like various forms of permanent damage to it. Like singers have to worry about it and stuff like that. Like if you like perform on stage and stuff like that, and you perform a lot and stuff like that, like you need to do training to avoid the things that will damage your voice. Because it's not a matter of like, oh no, I lost my voice today. It's like, oh no, I've permanently damaged the thing I need for my job. Like a bird brings it up too, and Danny Sexbang brings it up and stuff like that.
Huh. I've never really thought about that.
It's okay. Zero Escape's behind us now. The damage is done.
I was gonna say, I mean, I just technically did like 95 episodes of the hardest voice of all time, so I guess if I could still talk, I win. My throat is invincible.
That's definitely never true.
Or maybe the cigarettes just keep it safe. Achi gave her a grin, and she cracked a tiny smile of her own.
Oh my god!
Wait, these are the guys that were harassing.
It's the diet drink Yakuza people.
Oh my god!
We're gonna affect. So we affect two of the timelines now.
Which one's talking?
I don't know. I don't remember at this point.
Hoorah! You too. You got a minute? Achi looked around. A pair of men approached from across the street. There was something shady looking about them.
You think?
Was it the Hawaiian shirt that's clearly not buttoned, but also the giant gold chain being exposed from the unbuttoned
Is
Hawaiian
it the part
shirt?
where they look like they got dressed by running through a clothing store with their arms outstretched? Just whatever like stuck to them was what their clothes are now.
That would be an amazing way to wake up. Like,
you just wake up and fall through a clothing store sideways, and then you're dressed.
And just whatever gets stuck to you, that's it today. Achi's protective instincts kicked in, and he stepped in front of Hitomi. If these guys meant trouble, he wanted to be ready. We just want to ask you something.
What if they're asking for directions and we give them wrong directions, and then that changes Tama's storyline?
Oh my god. The younger of the two men drew in closer, a sharp gleam in his eye. Achi braced himself.
Did I lose you?
No, I said the line. Hello? Can you not hear me? Hello?
I think you're back now.
Oh, I said the line, so you're good to go.
Achi. It was weird.
Oh, yeah. I think the internet was just like, wait a second. Are you using?
I heard Achi,
VoIP,
and then I asked if you were there, and then I waited for like 5 seconds, then heard himself. I'm like, what? Like it caught up with all the transmissions that had happened while you were gone.
Huh. Ask us what? You know where the Nokane building is?
I nailed it.
The man held up a flyer. It was for some sort of health food sales demo. Who's talking?
It's just him again. It's
okay.
It's just,
come on, man. The Nokane building. You know where it is or not?
so we gotta lie to them.
Achi knew the name. Wasn't that one of the buildings on one of the buildings on Center Guy? That was near Dogonzaka, the same direction he was going.
And fuck these guys.
I don't like the thought of these two following Atomi and me.
Achi pointed them in the opposite direction from Center Guy.
Pretty sure it's that way,
He said.
Tama, good end now. Yay. Sure, that never come up again. Very mad at us.
Sorry to bug you. The two men headed off toward the main road. How do you not know? You're Yakuza. How do you not know the streets of fucking Japan? Like, come on, man. You have districts and you have zones. Like, shit together. Achi and Hitomi hurried onward, following the sparsely trafficked side streets toward Dogenzaka. Oh, look at that beautiful scenery. I mean, it's pretty nice. I live in a desert.
I mean, you opted into that.
Well, yeah.
I don't think I even knew this part of Shibuya was here.
Or
Sorry, bug in my throat.
Sorry, geez, that was my, I don't know. I don't think I even knew this part of Shibuya was here.
Hitomi said as she looked around.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I used to mess around in this neighborhood when I was a kid.
The area was a mishmash of rundown residences and office buildings.
Almost nobody ever comes here unless they live or work on one of these streets. And check it out, over there, a rare first-hand glimpse of the Shibuya River.
A minor river that runs from the Miyamatsu Bridge to the Tengen Bridge, depicted in the 36 views of Mount Fuji by Edo period ukiyo-e artist Hokusai. In Hokusai's time, fireflies were collected from the Shibuya River and presented to the shogun, leading credence to the idea that the river was indeed clean in the past.
Is that supposed to be the river down there?
Yes.
Wasn't it dry? Didn't they just show us a panning shot where it's literally there's no water there? There's just like a puddle down the middle?
No, I think it has like a basically up to your tendons in water.
Your tendons?
Yeah, your tendons? Where are your tendons at?
Tendons are like, everywhere in your body.
Well, you know what I mean, on your feet. Like the one basically where your Achilles heel is, more or less. A little above that tendon.
Like your tendons are like how muscle and bone that's how your bones are attached. Kind of.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking of like the foot,
like, what's
the foot
happening?
tendon. Tendons on your feet. There you go.
Up to your tendons. I've never heard that in my life. Don't even try to pretend that's a normal phrase, like on the level.
I was trying to say I forgot the extra part. If I said like up to your foot's tendons, then it would have made more sense.
By the way, there was multiple people on both directions, if I remember correctly, where there was people like, how has you never heard of On the Level? And other people were being like, I have no idea what On the Level is.
I am not alone. It is not a thing. It's really not.
Y'all clearly is a thing from all the other people that are like, it's a thing.
Y'all motherfuckers made it up just to confuse me.
Things. I didn't know what Bongo Cat was.
Well, shit, someone sent it to you.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was like, well, that was me. That was the one encounter I had with it. Just like you had with On the Level.
That's enough. No, On the Level was not an encounter. It was like a forced
bullshit. You can't just make up reasons that's somehow different when it's not.
Have you always lived in Shibuya, Achi?
Yep, born and raised.
Achi bent down to pick up a piece of trash from the roadside.
That's why I do this. It just pisses me off to see folks make a mess of this place.
He picked up another piece of trash.
Honestly, I thought he was picking up trash because he's an ex-con and he can't get a job. And so he just walks around picking up trash and threatening people.
He could also be doing that too.
Yeah.
He seems to not have a job.
Yeah.
I don't have a job, so I just pick up garbage every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, you are really selling yourself to this girl.
Man, what am I doing? Like, cleanup even matters right now.
Hitomi took a long, hard look at his face.
What?
He demanded.
What is it?
You're a strange one, Achi.
That's so.
She was right, of course. It was only sort of strange. It was sort of strange collecting trash every day instead of getting a job. He had his reasons for it, but they weren't important right now. Right now, the important thing was getting Hitomi to Dogenzaka.
Come on.
He murmured.
What?
A sudden angry shout broke the silence as they hurried along.
A shout? Why was a shout manifested in the form of thwack?
Because there's no voice acting in this?
I guess so. Are they gonna? Is it gonna be that the Yakuza found out that we gave them false directions and started chasing us down? Oh no.
Probably.
I have no idea who's talking.
I don't either.
Hey, hold it right there.
Achi and Hitomi stopped, but the shout wasn't directed at them.
Oh.
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 Excuse me?
Can we go 5 seconds without feuds and fights in this city? Holy crap.
Welcome to Japan?
Yeah, like this literally is just every 5 seconds of Yakuza. Like it's just another person's being beaten up in a corner or something. Or Kiryu's getting chased by another gang.
We're playing the story of probably an ex-Yakuza guy. Further up the road, a group of thuggish-looking men were having some kind of argument. The man who was shouting had grabbed one of the others by the neck.
Idiots, you still got the call to call yourselves SOS?
The Studs of Shibuya, a youth gang operating out of Shibuya, founded by Achi Endo. Its current leader is Susumu Nishizawa. Yep, there you go, told you.
What? It's our gang?
Oh, maybe that was me saying that.
I don't know. No one can tell.
Susumu, but...
No, I think this is like the guy being beaten on.
Oh, okay.
Probably? I don't know. Maybe.
No.
I mean, yeah, Susumu, but... The other man standing
Oh.
Ah.
The other men standing around looked distinctly uncomfortable.
Takes money to run an organization. No, I know, and since it's not like you're Achi or nothing, I thought you could maybe spare some help on that front, boss.
The top dog, the man in charge, the head honcho. Here it refers to the leader of SOS, Susumu. A change in leadership can really shake up an organization. The new boss's personality and disposition are a huge factor in whether the group continues to prosper. The fact that Susumu is being asked to spare some help on the monetary front suggests that he still has things to learn about being in charge. Hitomi looked at Achi when the stranger spoke his name. He smiled awkwardly, then turned back to the altercation.
Shut your mouth, Susumu barked. How dare you say Achi's name in my presence?
Okay.
Hey,
Achi called out.
What was that about me?
As soon as they saw him, the other men went pale. Achi kept his tone casual as he strolled up to the group.
Susumu, you can't just give the guy a beatdown in broad daylight.
To mess someone up super bad, usually with punches and kicks.
What the fuck?
Is this a video game tutorial?
Yeah, like someone like them describing like beatdown and boss are just the funniest bizarre descriptions.
Don't want to shock the upstanding people of our fair city.
Wow, how old are you? Are you a child? Are you literally a child?
Now we know why people are afraid of the trash man, apparently. Achi! Susumu glared. Can we drop the pleasantries?
Achi replied with a hint of a sneer.
You got it, Susumu.
And I'd like to point out we're not on a first name basis.
With that, Susumu turned and stalked away. His buddies followed suit, leaving Achi and Hitomi alone again.
Was he ousted or something?
Well, I think he left, which caused everyone to be upset because, you know, the gang boss left.
I wonder if he left or if he was ousted because they didn't like his leadership, or if he was arrested and then got out of jail and now he's back and is trying, and now he's just picking up garbage.
Probably all of the above.
I mean, 2 of those are mutually exclusive.
Nah, it's fine. It's Japan. It can happen.
Did you know that guy?
Hitomi asked.
His name's Susumu Nishizawa. And yeah, I know him. Or I thought I did. Used to be friends way back.
Zawa.
Zawa.
Actually, it's usually more whispery, so it's like
Zawa.
The fucking show.
I love fucking kaiji.
Planes.
I thought that was actually in the game.
No, if this video doesn't go up, it's because I died.
Oh wow. I don't think it's that serious, but all right. R.I.P.
Me and those guys were all part of the same crew, but I bailed a little while ago.
I like the saxophone.
Right? The saxophone is like setting the mood hard. Achi fell silent. To his great relief, Hitomi didn't pry further.
What game am I thinking of with this music?
I don't know.
It really reminds me of something, but I can't think of what it is. Like some quirky, also Japanese game that I think had a horror elements to it. It might have been Deadly Premonition, but I'm not sure.
Achi and Hitomi had gone a short distance further when he caught sight of a man picking something up alongside the train tracks.
I wonder.
He looks like he's picking up a shoe.
He is picking up a shoe. Actually, no, I think he's like picking up his life. Because I see an umbrella back there too, so I think he might just be a homeless guy.
Just his stash.
Maybe. Achi went over to him.
Hey man, you picking up trash by any chance?
What a question. Who is this guy?
The man let out a panicked shout.
Are we
Man?
describing man? Oh no, it's his name. Why?
Taisei Yasuda, 35 years old, just opened up a knick-knack shop in Shibuya. Achi knows Shibuya like his own backyard, but this Yasuda guy is new enough that Achi doesn't recognize him.
Sorry, that kind of looked like that's what you were doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm picking up trash, of course. The guy seemed pretty unnerved.
You should listen to some idol music.
Like, I just got to thinking, man, this place is filthy.
Ah!
Right on.
Achi clasped the man's hand in his own.
Someone else who gets it.
My partner.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, I thought that was a game. I was like,
No.
someone who gets it. And then just like music just starts playing of their budding friendship.
That was my bad. Well, it sounded good. Yeah, it sounded like it fit. Let's go with that. It was all part of the game, guys.
Professional.
Andrew didn't forget because he doesn't have to do that every day of his life anymore. Let's see. They do?
Totally. I see all this trash all over the place and I can't stand it.
Oh, yeah, sure. The man breathed a sigh of relief. Who's talking? Please just color code it.
I'm guessing it's Achi.
I can't stand it when someone throws something away when it can still be useful.
I hear that.
That's the spirit. Ah!
Achi pulled out the trash he had stuffed in his pocket.
Achi, you've got like shit to do today. You're getting so distracted by everything.
Yeah, he is easily distracted.
Here you go.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, have it all.
The man looked dumbfounded.
Is he just giving him his other trash bags?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was just giving him his actual garbage, but I think he has a stash of bags.
Usually I go around picking up the trash around here. but I've got a little thing I gotta do today. You got it from here. I'm counting on you.
What? Actually, I'm kind of.
Great, thanks.
Achi beamed in approval, then rejoined Tomomi and headed down the street.
Fuck?
The man let out a sigh. Fine. Wow.
And he was never seen again.
Right?
Alright, I think that's it
Whoa.
for today. I think that's a moment to end it on.
Yeah,
wow, we're 40 minutes into the hour already with Achi.
Holy shit.
But I think
Achi just like...
Like, we already changed. Yeah, Tom has already changed from bad end.
Whoa!
And Osawa is not a bad end.
What the fuck? Wait, what changed? Oh, because we
didn't
got
get
away
caught.
from the gun.
Yeah. We've unbad ended both of their timelines by escaping and then redirecting you. And
Achi has like
this is
all the power.
Taxi problem.
Yeah.
Achi, and we're almost done with his hour already. I wonder if there'll even be a thing to solve for him as opposed to just how he affects everybody else this hour.
It might just be affecting everyone else.
Yeah, there's even like time jumps of like a bunch of skips happening because he's just running around the city for 10 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
All right then.